What's up guys, my name is Javier, and in this video we're going to take a look at one of Makita's latest brushless 18-volt power tools, and that's the Makita XAG03 brushless 4.5-inch angle grinder. And this is great news, as previous cordless brushed angle grinders, well, they were good cutoff tools, and they were only okay at angle grinding. Before, with those brushed cordless angle grinders, you were able to grind, but you had to be very careful at how much pressure you put down on the wheel, otherwise the tool would shut off. So that's one of the things I put this angle grinder to the test, was to see how much torque it has and to test out its angle grinding performance. I was actually very impressed at how well it's able to grind. You can put a good amount of pressure on the wheel while grinding and cutting. And what I like about the grinder is that the speed stays a bit more even as you apply pressure. It slows down a bit at first, but then you can press hard and the grinder keeps the power constant. What Makita did was add two modes. When you start the grinder, it's always on high speed mode, running at full speed. On this mode, you're able to grind and cut with no problem, but as soon as you start pressing hard and the grinder needs more power, it goes into high torque mode. This gives the grinder that extra oomph to keep on chugging. And right next to the fuel gauge, and by the way, it has a fuel gauge to show you the remaining battery life. So anyways, right next to the fuel gauge, it has a little LED light that lights up when the grinder is in high torque mode. The great thing about this grinder is that the switching between modes is automatic, and there's nothing required on your part. You just do what you normally do without having to worry about modes and switches. And the high torque mode is great, so you can push down hard on the wheels when you're cutting and grinding. And like many cordless Makita products, this features start protection, meaning it has overload protection, overheating protection, and protection from over discharging the batteries. And all those features will protect the motor, the tool, and the batteries, and will extend their life greatly in the long run. I was able to see overload protection in action while grinding. This is a great feature to have, because if you didn't and you overloaded the motor, you could end up smoking it. Another great thing about the overload protection is that it's not overly sensitive. It takes a lot of pressure, and I mean a great amount, just to get it to cut off. I had to go out of my way just to get it to cut off. So even if you push hard, you don't have to worry about tripping the overload protection easily. As for power, I would agree with Makita's claims that this angle grinder has quarter performance. I used to have a 5.8 amp angle grinder, and I would say that this is as powerful as that one. It's not as powerful as 7 amp angle grinders or higher, but for a cordless angle grinder, the performance is great. Going back to that 5.8 amp angle grinder I used to have, I believe that this angle grinder cuts faster because the other model, which was a Kawasaki by the way, didn't have constant speed. So if you press hard, the motor would slow down big time. It wouldn't come to a stop, but it did slow down a lot. This Makita keeps the speed more even when you press hard. That's not to say it doesn't slow down, but just not as much. So it does a pretty good job at cutting and grinding. The other features include a brushless motor, which gets you some amazing battery runtime. I was able to make 7 cuts into a 1/2-inch concrete bolt, 1 cut into 2-inch square tubing, and a little over a minute's worth of grinding on metal, all with a 4.0 amp hour battery. I started off with a fully charged battery, and after everything was said and done, I still had 3 out of 3 bars. So the brushless motor is very battery efficient. And I also like that it doesn't weigh much, coming in at 5.5 pounds, and is very nicely balanced. It's a bit front heavy, but that's a good thing with grinders as you're putting pressure on the wheel as you work. I also like the slim profile on the handle, and it makes it very comfortable to grip. Another thing that Makita did a great job on was the placement of the vents, and they're at the bottom of the handle away from the gripping area. On some of the grinders I've used in the past, some of the vents were in the middle of the tool, and you had to be very careful where you place your grip as to not block the vents. The vents also come with a wire mesh to keep dust from ruining the motor. They are very easy to remove if needed to clean them. To start the angle grinder, it has a slide lock on switch. It has a soft start when you turn the motor on to extend the life of the gears, but it's not as smooth as other soft starting grinders, so it's more of a fast, soft start. I also like that it has a safety feature built into the grinder. If you leave the grinder on the on position, when you insert the battery, it won't turn on. This is a great feature to have, as it could be very dangerous if it did start unexpectedly when inserting batteries. It also features Makita's extreme protection technology, which is their way of saying it has improved water and dust resistance. And this is great to have, as many of you are going to use this angle grinder for working with concrete, tile, and stone, and we all know that creates a ton of dust. It's also going to be able to put up with a splash of water here and there. So you can buy this angle grinder by itself as a bare tool, which includes a side handle, and it can be placed on both sides of the tool for left and right-handed use. Comes with the inner flange, a lock nut, and a spanner wrench, one grinding wheel guard, and this one happens to be toolless, so you can easily position it into place. Also comes with one cutoff wheel guard, but this one isn't toolless, so you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver so you can position it. And two discs, one for grinding metal and a cutoff wheel for metal. So this is the bare tool you're going to get if you already have batteries and a charger, and it comes with everything you need to get started right out of the box. You can also get it as a kit, which includes everything I just mentioned, along with two 4.0 amp hour batteries, a fast charger, and a hard plastic case. The great thing about Makita's batteries is that they charge extremely fast, usually about half of what the competition takes to charge similar batteries. These batteries charge in only 40 minutes. So it's a great performer, and it would make a great addition to your collection or to start a new one. I believe it has quarter grinder performance, not only for cutting, but also for grinding applications as well. It can replace a quarter grinder, as it has a tremendous amount of power for a cordless 18-volt grinder. And because it's brushless, it's also going to need to make less pit stops at the charger and get more work done per charge. Like I said, the performance is great, and it's very similar to small corded angle grinders. It's not really meant to be a replacement for larger, beefier corded grinders that take bigger wheels. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give me a thumbs up by liking this video, subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with the latest tools, and let me know what you guys think of this Makita 18-volt brushless 4.5-inch angle grinder. Also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Google+, and I'll see you guys next video.